All right, where are we on 2020 Tantra on Amazon? Info in the description. I'm here with my man Zach. I don't know if you want to hit him with your info. I'll put it in the description if he feels like it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I ain't trying to plug anything.
Word. All right, so we're out here on Camelback in AZ.
Yep.
So, boom. All right. So how'd you find me, Zach?
YouTube, man. You know, I think like 5 years ago when I was first going through my spiritual awakening, I was on these kind of like occult sites or something, and somebody shared a video of yours, and I just like subscribed, and it didn't really like fully resonate at the time, but over the years as I started to learn more about what you're talking about and stuff, and everything just started to click and make more sense. Especially these last 2 years, and that breathing video you sent, that took it to the next level. And
so I guess like relatively speaking, I guess it comes down to like, you know, you get the information or whatever, you get people like tell you like the experiences themselves, but then you got to still go through the experience to validate it for your own for your own personal journey or whatever.
Yep.
So because like I feel like sometimes with the vegan process, like we all relate to some degree, but then like, you know, even me when I meet people that have it's not very many, but I've met people, elders in the process, that I feel like, you know, they might be at XYZ and I'm at like LMNOP, and you know, and they're asking me like, yo, you remember RSQ and all that? And I'm like, yo, I don't remember that yet, like, you know, and it's funny, but I feel like it's in everybody, you know, and the process is lovely. Like, I wouldn't want to force anybody to be like, yo, you see, you know, XYZ already, like, you know what I mean? Don't you already see the end of the journey or whatever? So
yeah.
I feel like for you, like, where are you at right now, and where do you see yourself being? And yeah, I guess I'll just start there. Like, where are you right now, and where do you see yourself being?
You know, like what you're just saying, it's easy, especially now that I've been through the process for so long already, to like intellectualize all the concepts and just consciously know, but then actually implementing and taking action with it, and, you know, like
practice,
detoxing and the vegan, the breath, yoga, all that stuff. When you actually start doing it, and then that shapes you into like the being. That's kind of where I'm at, you know, like fully diving into the detox, the alkaline diet with no kind of
the practicality of it, like actually
exactly.
like you said, like
executing it.
Execution, yep, and but so you can embody it, because I feel like you know, you tell people these things, the benefits of it, the benefits are going to seem lofty. They're not going to, you know, as far as they have to see it for themselves. Like, you try to explain to somebody the value of a breath, you know, if they have never taken a proper breath in their adult life, they won't see any value in it, you know, and that's okay, but it's just funny, like how, you know, you tell people to stop, you know, eating something or start eating something else, and they have no perception.
And, like, their mind might meet you with what you're saying, but then they'll just walk away and it'll be like nothing even happened. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly, because you gotta, like you said, you gotta really practice, and that's why I say practice is perfect, because, you know, as far as like this life being like perfectly imperfect, all you can kind of do is just practice, because you'll never really be prepared for anything, I feel like, because, you know, everything is in constant chaos. That's kind of the beauty of things, like the infinity is unpredictable. So I feel like as long as you like have some sense of practice that you can constantly apply and execute, then you can navigate a lot easier from breath to breath or step to step and everything, and you never get overwhelmed. Like, that's why I say practice is perfect, because, you know, I guess it'd be easy for somebody to say, look, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't eat this, I don't do that. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, who you are today might change tomorrow if you know what I mean? So I feel like the practice has to continue, no matter what your definition of yourself is, because, like, you know, you might have your idea of who you are, and then your parents die, and then your practice then your practice stops, and then it's like, you know, I feel like it's all, as long as you maintain a sense of practice, then you always keep a sense of self and everything. And
I know for me too, when I first got started, it was like when I learned everything, I wanted to just skip right to the end where I'm like, okay, I'm full breatharian yogi status. But that's just, you got to push it that 1% each day that you can. And that adds up over time.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the snowball. You know, the small change in all there, like, because it is. That's the beautiful process of A to Z too. You can't appreciate Z if you don't do from B to, you know, X and Y. You know, it's like you have to do that whole journey, or like, you know, because A and Z would be like, it's just a flash. You know, at that point, then it's a flash in the pan, and I don't feel like anything is really like retained.
And isn't it all about like enjoying the journey instead of trying to get to an end destination?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Lao Tzu says, you know, true traveler isn't set on the destination. That's not the concern. Yeah, it's just about just enjoying right now and just and respecting the energy that's in the now. You know what I mean? Because that's where all the protection is.
Yeah.
You know.
And when you do that, you never know what might happen. You know what I mean? The people that you meet, the experiences that you experience.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and like the more I feel like you try to recreate things that you think you know, the more that you don't know, and the more that you like are in this position of doubt. Like the more that you crave knowledge and acquire knowledge, I feel like it just breeds more doubt. Instead of just accepting that this is infinity, there's no way to grasp it. You can chip away at it all you want, but you'll never be able to grasp it. Infinity will constantly be infinite. So that's the beauty of it. Like you said, that's why the journey is great, because it's like you focus on the path and just it's just an infinite path. You know, it's not about getting anywhere, you know, or getting something from somewhere, or giving or taking. You know, I mean, I feel like that's where you get lost in time and space and separation.
100%.
Yeah.
And I guess I could ask you too, when it comes to like, we all experience the moments where you have to make decisions and choices. And I know for me sometimes it can be tricky, like trying to make the right choice, you know what I mean? And seeing through the consequences. So I'm curious, from your perspective, how do you approach that, like decision making and choice making and stuff?
Well, the path of least resistance within me. It's really not even about other people. I know it sounds selfish, but ultimately, if I respect the now energy and don't, you know, go with the resistance, then I know that sets everybody else straight too. Because the universe is pretty much like showing me where the path of least resistance is, and everything, you know, where ease is. That's what peace is. Peace is true ease. Everything else is dis-ease. So I feel like, that's more so. It's really no choices in life. You know, there's no choices. It's one path. There's a lot of illusions of choice, you know, and things become more apparent as you breathe properly. Like as far as like which way to go, I guess, you know, because it's really. It doesn't really make a difference, because like the alternate routes could be a long one or a shorter way, but they're gonna still be the same route as far as perception goes. Like you might take a shorter route, but it might be more painful, so it feels longer.
Yeah.
So the perception is the same. Or you take a longer route, or it's perceived as longer, but it's more peaceful, so it was quick. So it's like all about your perception of that, of long and short and all that. But yeah, they all define each other, so there's no separation again. And it's just. Yeah.
And I say that because throughout, especially these last couple of years, have been really intense, because my intuition has been growing, and I'm starting to cultivate that instead of being thrown around by it.
Yeah.
And so when I have the illusion of choice, right, and I make the decision that I think is right for me at the time, when you look back at it after a certain period of time, you realize that you didn't really have the choice in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It was perfect.
That's how. Yeah, exactly. That's how you can look at that in a positive way, or you can gaslight yourself too.
Yeah.
Because like, if you were to reflect and say, man, how was I living the way I was living from that state of consciousness, and I made it to this point? So then you know in some years you're gonna reflect on right now and be like, how was I living in that state of consciousness? You know. So ultimately, yeah, like life is like a series of invalidating experiences.
There's levels to
validation. Like of invalidation. Yeah, you know, because everybody wants the validation, because validation is definition is boundary is separation is pride, and then you can hold.
It's all downhill from there.
Exactly, or uphill from there. Yeah. However you want to look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Truly, man. So as far as the journey for your environment, you seen the things changing, like people around you changing? Because I feel like in the last 10 years, like I was saying on the way up, I went vegan and tried to get other people to go vegan so there could be more of my food on the shelf. It was selfish. It wasn't even about other people kind of to start. Like, but now I really see, like, after going into seclusion for a while, I come back off the mountain and I'll see like the whole, you know, cities have changed. You know, I remember Brooklyn growing up, totally different than Brooklyn now, and there's vegan options on every corner. And it's just like, how's this?
You probably never thought back then that would happen.
Yeah, I never would have thought. Like, I never would. You could see that. Like, and it's crazy to see. And then it just pushes me to go even more, you know, with the path, because I feel like I kind of secluded myself from the world and went away because I didn't see the progress. And then I started to create the progress within my own little microcosm. And then I came back to the world, and the world had evolved.
You did the internal,
yeah.
and then the external kind of
Yeah,
reflected that.
and then it was almost like the world was like, yeah, what? Let go, keep evolving. Like, don't hold us up. Like,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yeah, no, dude, 100% the same here. And you know, in the beginning, you're saying that you started because you wanted like more options for yourself and stuff. Honestly, for me, when I started getting into it, it came from a place of me wanting to improve my own health.
Yeah.
And you know, raise my own vibration.
Yeah.
But it was very much a desire to help other people become healthier and less pain, less suffering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I realized over time that when you focus too much on the other people before yourself, then you're just gonna eat shit all the time, basically. 'Cause
Yeah.
nobody's gonna change until you change yourself first, and then they
Yeah.
see that, and then that inspires the change in
Yeah,
them.
you embody it.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got to be the reference point.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't fix it from the outside in. You got to do it from the inside out for sure.
And that made me realize too, I was just trying to fill an internal void externally by helping other people, you know, and that was kind of like, if I help enough people, maybe somebody will come and help me.
You give up the responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. So when you help yourself first, that's when all of the keys kind of fall into place.
Yeah.
At least in my experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I feel like it just sets everybody else straight because then you help you, then you stop leaning on people, then people stop leaning on you, and then the ripples just keep going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of corrects themselves to stand up on their own.
Yeah, like sometimes it empowers you to help people, and sometimes it makes you weaker to help people. So I guess it's all about it's all about like discernment.
Like, I think if they come to you and they're like willing, you know, and you know you're not gonna waste your breath on them essentially. But if they're just trying to like complain or look for pity or validation or whatever, then that's just a lost cause.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people just want you to hold their hand and pet them. You know?
Yep.
So, yeah, definitely. Because like you said, it's all about the execution at some level. Like, we could talk about it all. We could talk about oneness all day, but truly feeling it and embodying it is a whole nother basket. Like, that's a whole nother thing. Like, we can.
I think sustaining that feeling too. You know,
Yeah.
you can touch it and then fall away from it, but like holding that is a lot harder than it seems.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then a lot of people, I guess, surround themselves with things that like are catalysts that constantly remind you and reset you constantly. I guess that makes it easier until you get to the point of being like, okay, I am the source. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't need to deviate from my own core, because that's the you know, the source of all movement. You know, that stillness inside of you. So I think just getting back to that, man. Just really getting back to that breath, man. And yeah, would you say anything about the breath, man, before we conclude this video? 'Cause I know we're getting more of a crowd up here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know, anything about the breath or diet or anything that you would like to change or see changing or anything, I don't know, any closing parting words or something you would want to say?
That's a good question. You know, I mean, this journey has helped me change my own life, and I feel like I've just really started on this journey. It's a whole lifelong thing, and I think just being more conscious of how the things that you consume affect you, and that includes breathing and the breath. You know, you're consuming the air, and so when you actually do that and you integrate the energy in there, you just have to play with that because it's different for everybody. You know, like what you went through is totally different from what I'm going through, and totally different from everybody.
But your experience is my experience in the sense that you have to have yours for the continuity, for yin and yang, for left and right, for this and that. You know what I mean? Like, your experience has to happen for the next man's experience to happen. Like, and that's what, you know,
like different degrees of perspective of that oneness.
It's all different. I shouldn't say different. It's like the Tao in different forms. Like everybody, because the Tao is the path or the way to the way. So everybody's got their own way to the way, you know. And it's like no judgment or anything like that. There's no separation or judgment. It's just like all here for the perspective, like to bounce that energy off of. And then, you know, people are just better reference points, I guess, than others, like based on your personal stage, you know. Because some people, you might run into somebody that's really sick, and then that'll keep you on the course. But then somebody will run into somebody really sick and get sick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so I guess it's all about where you are in your phase of the now. I don't know.
No, that sums it up pretty well, man.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know, I just say, like, do the yoga, do the breath work, just do the things. Don't just read about it. Don't just learn it. Actually take action with it and
know what not to do, too.
Exactly.
That way woo way.
Yep.
That way woo way. Like, no seed spilling and that type of stuff. Whatever you can do, Whatever you can do to not do. So that you can do when you're supposed to.
Exactly. That discernment, like you said.
Yeah. Precision. Because I feel like as things become more refined, it's more precise. Like, you know, you go vegan, then you go raw, then you go liquid, and then your expressions become more precise. You know, then you're going from, you know, yelling at people, trying to change people, and then to like, you know, meditation, to like, you know, whatever it is, like music or, you know, instrumentation or, you know, whatever it is, you know, whatever your work and exchange of alchemy is, you know, because it's all just the breath, you know. Everything is
At the end of
light.
the day,
Yeah, everything is light, or you know, the breath really, and some breath is more tangled than others, like, but ultimately it's just all that. That's just all the work is. Like, you tangle your breath to have experience, and then you untangle it to liberate yourself from it. It's funny, you know what I mean? So it's like no judgment. It's just like it is what it is. Like, I don't know.
No, 100%. I think too, like, important for people to know is like not to get attached to a particular form of this kind of work, because you know, some people might look at it as like yoga is the ultimate way, and then they go and do it, and then they realize like, okay, maybe yoga isn't the way for them.
Yeah.
You know, they got to find that other form for that. So like just experiment and explore and do all that stuff until you find that outlet for yourself.
Yeah, I feel like all those things point at the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, yoga isn't the source. It points to the
Like
source.
tarot, astrology, whatever.
Yeah, they all point to the source. It's like, you know, it's like I'm not saying that I created this. I'm just pointing at it. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about like yoga and veganism.
Exactly. Yeah.
All that
Some
stuff.
people get caught up where they think like, oh, you do yoga, and then they like, they pin that on you. Basically.
Even the breath work. I know people. Yeah, I know people want to like, want me to identify, or maybe want, because they like to encapsulate other people because they've encapsulated themselves in definitions. Yeah. So I feel like I don't even want to get like caught up in identification with like the breath. Like, any identification blocks infinity, like I always say. And I feel like all of it just points to the oneness. You know, the breath brings you back to the oneness. You know, all the elements in their truest form, they bring you back to the oneness. You know, and it's so it's not like to say one is greater than the other. You know, because sickness brings you back to oneness too. Like, in a sense, like if you were,
that's what got us on this path in the first place. You know?
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's just like respecting the energy in the moment. And then you know, whether it's sickness, whether it's whatever it is, if you do that, then that's when the ease begins. And the dis-ease ends, I feel like, if you can separate anything.
For momentary separation.
If you can blink, maybe, right there. Yeah, man. So, I don't know. 2020 Tantra on Amazon. Info in the description. It's my man, Zach. You on the gram? I know you're on the book. So
yeah, I'm on the gram. You can just put it in the description, I guess.
All right, word. Yeah. So, follow him. Yeah. And let me give him another view of Camelback real quick.
Yeah, so like right up Palisades.
Oh yeah, the Monarchs is out here, huh? I don't even know which hotel I'm in. I checked in as the Monarch of Melon then.